Antes de comenzar, solicitamos verificar que sus teléfonos móviles se encuentren apagados o en modalidad de silencio. Muchas gracias. Muy buenas tardes. Damos inicio a la ceremonia de cierre del Simposio Internacional 2022. Saludamos a quienes nos acompañan de manera presencial.
We want to greet all of those that are attending this meeting from virtually and face-to-face. We really appreciate the attendance of the people who are here.
Y la profesora
And the teacher TC, with academics and dear guests. This cathedra has been developed from October 25 to 28, a symposium called Dialogue and Emancipation that explore topics like democracy, citizen and transformative education. We had 4 days of discussion, academic discussions with educators, activists, artists, and other members of the global civil society that allowed us to have more than 130 presentations in collaborative sessions in English, French, and Spanish. To start this closure event, we want to give the floor to Paul Carr, so that he's going to give us some words. Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here. First, I would like to recognize the indigenous people, the culture, the values, the rights, the claims, the legitimate claims, the knowledge, and their existence in each of the American territory. This symposium is try to offer our honest solidarity with the indigenous people. There were many challenges, distance, language, platforms, technology, disciplines, ways to be, but here we are. 4 days, 36 sessions, 4 plenary, 1 inauguration, 1 closure, 3 moderations, to start collaborations with the young people from Chile, Mexico, and Spain, and activities in Chile. It was really, really a rich symposium. So we have had the speakers from all over the world, 7 sessions on indigenous people, many regarding environment and global citizens, peace, democracy, and transformative education, dialogue, discussions, reflections, and solidarity. 4 hours of dialogue, and I hope a lot of emancipation discussions. this diffusion of the session and interaction, comments, videos in Facebook that have been shared and have already been seen many times. And we're going to upload everything in YouTube soon. So the symposium, the ideas, the interactions, all of that can be shared with people, networks, associations to support and promote the social change. I'm not a quantitative person, but I will try to provide some figures. I am in the qualitative area, but more than 2,000 recordings for the Zoom sessions with the presence of more than 50 countries, flew more than 2,500 interaction in Facebook up to now. And this ecosystem of dialogues, I hope and I'm sure is going to lead to other dialogues and discussions in order to build peace and solidarity. All of the sessions have been presented via YouTube, and we are going to spread through other social media like Instagram and others. So I think that the sessions were very accurate and transforming. Really, this experience of putting everything, all this content within a commitment framework really helped me a lot. And I hope it has been very interesting and for your benefit too. First picture, please. I had 3 pictures. If you can share the pictures, please. Okay, so congratulations, and really, I want to greet our Cathedral UNESCO Montreal, as well as thank you also to the interpreters that did a great work. Our equipment was making sure that everything was okay with the recording, transmission, communication, management of social media, registers, with a lot of people, organization, and others. So I really want to congratulate to the whole team in Canada. There was some results of the Symposium 2000, from Symposium 2001. One of these results or output was this amazing collaboration. So 1 year of planning give us this beautiful symposium in 2002 and 2022. Second picture, please. The result of this symposium, I have the outcome of them. I have the pleasure to announce that the UNESCO chairs will have another symposium in 2022. It's really a pleasure to be able to announce it, and we will give you more details in the following weeks. And this is the 3rd symposium of CIMAC that is going to be held in Seoul, in South Korea, in collaboration with the Kyunggi University. We want to thank the 2 colleagues from the University of Korea and Jung Lim, who is rector, who has been working with us for many years. The University Kyunggi was founded based on the principle of the progress of civilization and the building of the world peace, the creation of a new culture, and the promotion of the welfare of the humanity, believing that this thinking that a university must contribute to the development of the citizen. Kim Lee has looked for building the peace through several programs and social campaigns over the last 50 years, building a tradition and a sanctuary of knowledge and peace for the knowledge, for the promotion of knowledge, and as well as to complement it with the dreams and visions of the humanity. The 3rd picture, please. And this is a beautiful symposium in 2021 with the collaboration of about 40 people coming from 12 countries. We were able to complete the book And this book is going to be available in November. The book has been edited by Gina Tessay, Eloy River Sanchez, and myself. And this project was a really, really amazing project. We are going to do another project in this year, trying to express and show the deep of the areas of the discussions we have had during this symposium. We are going to cultivate also other collaborations too. But just to close, I would like to highlight that the chair is an ecosystem of thinkings, idea, concept, interaction, people, and activities. Without Gina, there's no chair. And there are colleagues that help and contribute amazingly to make development our small family. Thank you to all the team. And I am going to just mention some: Michael, Julia Berceronge, Andren, Eloy, River Sanchez, Lucy Sobey, Isabel Oriana, and all and each of you, including Silvia Redon, Helhels, Javier, and others, Orlando Paredes and others. And again, with a great pleasure and emotion, thank you to our team in Canada. And I cannot forget to mention especially the Canadian Commission for UNESCO, that is a bridge between Canadian people and the main work of the UNESCO through the networks, the social media, and the members. The Commission promotes the values, the priorities, and the program of UNESCO in Canada, leading the voices of the Canadian expert into the international context. So the president is Richard Kistavit, and he is very important in the community. And we have also the participation of the First Nation from Quebec. Mr. Kichibat has been appointed head of the community of the First Nation, Abetiwini, Egan, and big chief of the Algonquin Council of the Quebec, of the west of Quebec. Also, we are very happy to be able to collaborate and to have her collaboration in the commission for many years. So the UNESCO, our universities, UCAM, and others collaborators. And finally, in Chile, Valparaiso, the PUCB, we really want to tell to our colleagues and to our friends, thank you so much. The organization of a symposium like this requires a lot of relationship, a lot of communication, a lot of moments, a lot of reflections. We try very hard and we try to live these moments amazingly and learning a lot. Without solidarity, there's no symposium. I would like to invite the Chilean team of the organizer committee to stand up to recognize their amazing work. Please, those that have been working on the symposium.
Hay muchas personas que contribuyeron.
Lots of people who actually contributed to the organization of the symposium. And we're very glad for their participation, such a transformative experience. I would like to greet and thank you all. At this point, I would also like to thank openly to Silvia Redondo Pantojo, Cecilia Cortés, Tatiana Maribel López, Gabriel Muñoz, Marcela Harpa, Macarena Roplin, Felix Rasco, and all the Chilean team for their outstanding work and commitment towards the organization of this symposium. Thank you very much, dear friends. This project aims to create a better world with better relationship, social justice of core of life, non-extractivism to protect the environment, the planet, the species, the languages, and humankind as a whole. We cannot just simply ignore the others. The question is not whether it is possible. We actually do not have any other solution. We should not waste our time to try to convince the others. We have what we need in order to go ahead. For me, it is pretty inspirational to listen to you all colleagues, to talk with you and start dialogues with all of you. I hope that this symposium is actually become a great experience for all of you, and this actually became a transformative experience for all of you. Thanks for your solidarity, love, until next time.
Agradecemos las palabras del profesor.
Thank you for Mr. Porcaus, professor the chair UNESCO-DCMÉT, Democracy, Global Citizen, and Transformative Education. Now we will give the floor to a representative of the University of Quebec, Lydia Rupert, will be speaking to us right now.
Welcome. Welcome to everyone as we join one last time for the closing of the International Symposium on Dialogue and Emancipation. My name is Lydia Ruprecht, and I am team leader for Global Citizenship Education at UNESCO within the section for Global Citizenship and Peace Education. Thank you all for your attendance and participation in the numerous sessions that took place over the last few days. It really was wonderful to learn from and engage with colleagues around the world during this hybrid event. Thank you also to the UNESCO Chair in Democracy, Global Citizenship, and Transformative Education, and its teams for organizing this successful event, and to the many partners who made it possible. Gatherings such as these are not possible without the determination and passion of those dedicated to improving the lives of individuals and creating a better future for all. The symposium, as we all witnessed, created a space for dialogue around cross-cutting contemporary issues lying at the intersection of critical current challenges such as hate speech, disinformation, and threats to democracy and basic human rights. From social movements and community engagement to mass migration and COVID-19, each session provided robust discussions to reflect, discuss, and share ideas. From the symposium, we gained insight on important issues plaguing different areas of the world, but also what we as educators, activists, researchers, and civil society members can do to face these challenges. As the symposium comes to an end, I want to draw your attention once more to UNESCO's work promoting the implementation of Agenda 2030 for Sustainable Development, specifically SDG 4, Target 4.7, that focuses on creating a culture of peace and nonviolence, global citizenship, and appreciation of cultural diversity, which is ultimately the framework of a lot of what we are doing here today. UNESCO is committed to advancing global citizenship to equip those who will be our future leaders, researchers, educators, and policymakers, and activists, and citizens with the knowledge, skills, and behaviors that value the importance of building a peaceful and just today and tomorrow. In this spirit, UNESCO is pleased to contribute to the symposium. It is highly encouraging to see such enthusiasm and engagement and critical thought from participants around the globe as we work together towards a more just, democratic, and equitable and peaceful society. Personally, I felt a certain energy in the exchanges and the way we connected using different platforms and languages on Zoom, Facebook Live, and in person in Valparaiso, Chile. Now, as we move forward, it is integral for us to continue conversing. So the conversation should not end here, and continue working together to meet our collective goals, because change is never a lonely endeavor, especially if it is to be democratic. We hope you all walk away from the symposium, or disconnect from the symposium, inspired by the conversations to partake in collaborations with others that further innovate and push forward important dialogues to advance democracy, global citizenship, and transformative education. Thank you.
En representación Asia Pacific Center.
Now we have the Asia Pacific. Yung Moon Lim, please. Your closing remarks.
Leaders of the Pontificia Universidad Católica de Valparaíso, Professor Paul Carr, UNESCO Chair in Democracy, Global Citizenship and Transformative Education, distinguished participants, dear colleagues. On behalf of APSEU, Asia Pacific Center of Education for International Understanding, which is a UNESCO center specializing in promoting education for international understanding and global citizenship, I extend our congratulations to you all on the successful conclusion of this year's symposium held under the theme of dialogue and emancipation. Through this symposium, we have shared our thoughts and views with regard to a range of topics, including democracy, justice, inequality, social movements, globalization and deglobalization, transformative education, decolonization, and so on. I very much appreciate the rich discussions and profound insights shared at this symposium. As we are witnessing in many parts of the world, democracy is backsliding and even falling into autocracy. People are more and more polarized in their political views. People are more and more locked in an echo chamber, watching and listening to all the time only what reinforces their views without encountering counter arguments. The gap between opposing views is widening, and the dialogue between those with polarized views is getting more and more difficult. Under these circumstances, autocratization is driven by anti-pluralist forces who are inciting people's anger and anxiety against globalization and immigrants. But however hard they try to ignore and deny, it is clear that we humans are all interconnected with each other and dependent upon each other. And that we humans are also interconnected with and dependent upon nature and ecological systems. So in this world of interconnectedness and interdependence, what emancipates us is not escaping from such relationships, but real awakening to this reality and take collective action to fight against forces dividing us and monopolizing the fruits of globalization. To fight against such forces, we need more solidarity and cooperation within and across nations. So this kind of international gatherings and exchanges is so crucial in these times of instability. It is a great pleasure for APSEU to be part of this meaningful endeavor. Thank you all for your contribution, and I hope to see you all at our international conference on global citizenship education, which will be held online next week. Thank you.
En representación de la
On
Université.
behalf of the University of Quebec, we will now listen Dr. Julien Lavinchen.
Bonjour. Permettez-moi d'abord de rendre hommage au peuple autochtone, gardien traditionnel des terres où nous travaillons, étudions et vivons. Nous reconnaissons le lien sacré de longue date les unissant à ces territoires qui demeurent non cédés et nous exprimons aux nations hôtes notre sincère gratitude. Miigwech. Je suis très heureuse d'avoir le privilège de m'adresser à vous à l'occasion de la cérémonie de clôture de cet important symposium international sous l'égide de la chaire UNESCO sur la démocratie, la citoyenneté mondiale et l'éducation transformatoire sur le thème dialogue et émancipation. J'en profite d'ailleurs pour féliciter les organisateurs, le professeur Paul Carr de l'UQO, la professeure Gina Thésée de l'UQAM, co-titulaire de la chaire UNESCO, ainsi que leurs nombreux partenaires, dont la Pontificale Université catholique de Valparaiso au Chili, qui vous ont permis de vous rassembler pour partager votre expertise, vos connaissances et vos pratiques innovantes en lien avec les 3 thèmes que sont la démocratie, la citoyenneté mondiale et l'éducation transformatoire. On m'a mentionné que vous étiez plusieurs milliers à
that there were many thousands of people.
UNESCO-DCMÉT. Le premier avait aussi été un succès en mai 2021 et a mené à plusieurs collaborations de recherche à l'international ainsi qu'à la venue de plusieurs stagiaires internationaux à notre université. J'ai hâte de prendre connaissance du livre qui en découle et qui est à paraître prochainement sur le titre « L'épicentre, démocratie, éco-citoyenneté mondiale et éducation transformatoire ». Permettez-moi de vous dire quelques mots sur l'Université du Québec en Outaouais, l'UQO, une université à dimension humaine avec nos quelques 7000 étudiants et étudiantes dont plus de 600 viennent de 40 pays à travers le monde. L'UQO est donc très fier d'être co-hôte de ce symposium international en collaboration avec l'Université pontificale catholique de Valparaiso. Les 3 thèmes portés par la chaire UNESCO et abordés au cours de ce symposium sont au cœur même de la mission de notre université, donc intimement liés à notre raison d'être. L'éducation est une condition essentielle à la réussite de notre société et joue donc un rôle de premier plan pour la démocratie. En effet, en entraînant une amélioration des conditions sociales et économiques et en favorisant la santé et le bien-être des individus, l'éducation fait en sorte d'alimenter la démocratie et de favoriser la justice sociale. Plus une population est éduquée, plus elle participe au débat et s'exprime. En effet, au fil de leurs études, même de nos institutions, a notamment favorisé le racisme et la discrimination envers les personnes racisées et les personnes autochtones, ainsi que d'autres formes de discrimination basées sur le genre, la langue, la religion, les classes sociales, etc. Les universités canadiennes et québécoises doivent donc travailler à leur propre transformation et à leur décolonisation afin de cheminer vers la réconciliation avec les Premières Nations et les Inuits et de devenir plus diversifiées, équitables, inclusives et accessibles. Pour y arriver, il est important de prendre le temps de bien comprendre les enjeux et défis sociaux et environnementaux qui découlent des grandes transformations en mouvement. Il faut le faire par la recherche, la formation, la diffusion du savoir et le partage des connaissances. Il faut le faire par l'entremise de symposiums comme celui auquel vous avez participé cette semaine grâce à la contribution de l'UNESCO, des nombreux conférenciers et conférencières et de toutes les personnes qui ont pris part aux échanges, qu'elles soient étudiantes, chercheurs, enseignantes, activistes ou membres de la société civile de divers horizons en provenance des 4 coins du monde. La richesse des idées, des échanges et des pistes de solutions pour un monde meilleur est directement proportionnelle à cette grande diversité que vous représentez. Merci et bonne fin de symposium à toutes et à tous.
Tras estos saludos internacionales, daremos
After
paso
hearing these closing remarks, We will read the declaration that was prepared within the youth dialogue, a space where youth of Spain, Mexico, and Chile discuss on the main topics, the core topics of the symposium. By reflecting on the challenges towards the future, we will hear Javier Toca from the University Jaume from Spain, Marie Jose from the Autonomous University of Mexico, and Gabriela Jara from the UPC from Chile. This is Marie Jose Lopez. I'm studying at the law school in the Universidad Nacional Autónoma de Mexico. We met all youth to discuss on democracy, global citizenship, and transformative education. With this dialogue, we discuss on the main topics and prepare a declaration. Democracy has to be understood as a human right and not as a privilege, the privilege of the elites. We need to think on this generation to promote democratic practices for future generations. The elite equals inequality. We have not actually lived on democracy. We need some basic foundations. There's no real representation. We need to build up a participatory democracy that will open spaces. Think on creating spaces for understanding space and becoming and changing realities. Deconstructing our thoughts is key to develop an empathic democracy. Educational inequalities are challenges as future professionals we're going to be facing it. We need to focus our practice towards a transformative education. Education is a human right, but as of now, we have experienced education as a privilege, since quality education only serves the few. We need to have a look at education in a cross-cutting and multi-stakeholder approach. The idea is to work together with the community and family members towards quality education. We should think on promoting critical thinking. Emancipatory thinking should be also enhanced. Multidimensionalities of human beings should be enhanced, apart from following curricula towards knowledge. We should enhance education of values, respect, and we should promote new participatory spaces that include the participation and engagement of new generations to democratize spaces, starting from families. Classrooms should be a democratic space where all students can participate. It should be also inclusive. Access should be provided for a significant learning process by ensuring also the protection of the whole community. We need to deconstruct and rethink our thoughts and ideas by understanding that youth and children are not only our future, but our present. We declare and we believe that education means freedom. Global citizenship should also be important, but it also conveys important roles such as activism, but not also activism in the streets, but with our family members, with our parents, children, friends, but also with professors or at the educational sector. It is important to transform, to change that usual paradigm on just simply thinking it is the other activism that takes place in a social organization. We should actually regain it. We as citizens should cooperate. We should get together to be more critical, key is to be critical to the system, to institutions, and to ourselves to actually create a new world for this new global citizenship. Thank you once again to the University of Valparaiso and the chair UNESCO-DCMÉT for giving us this great opportunity.
En representación de la Pontificia Universidad Católica de
Now we will
Valparaíso.
have a representatives of the Universidad Pontificia de Valparaíso, Marcela Azarp.
Buenas tardes a todos y a todas. Señor José Miguel Garrido, decano de nuestra escuela y
Good
nuestra facultad.
afternoon to all of you, dear Miguel Garrido, director of our school, Ms. Portal, Ms. Gina Tassi, dear colleagues, academic, teachers, and students, especially. So every time we have less students, but they are very important. So I also want to greet and thank our international guests and all of those people, professor, researcher, activists that are watching us on the social media. You are very welcome. Thank you so much. And really, we appreciate your attendance during these last 4 days. Really, I don't have a speech prepared, but I have some ideas that have built or that I have built during these four hard working days and deep thinking. This week in Valparaiso, here in Chile, in our university, two more important things has happened. The first one was and is our international symposium, UNESCO Share of Citizen and Educational Transformative Education and Democracy that has joined us today. And the second thing that you can see here around is the artistical expression of this classroom, because this week the whole university is rethinking on the 100 years university. Yesterday we were discussing a lot of hours thinking on how we want our upper education for the challenge of the century, for facing all the challenge that we have. And I want to share one comment. When we agreed that the UNESCO Symposium was the same day that our main activity, we were so concerned to great events in the same week. How are we going to do this? How are we going to capture public audience? And this really make us thinking, and from being an issue, a crisis became a great opportunity. And this has happened this week in 24 hours, 48 hours, but also in the last 2 or 3 years to everybody. So the first thing I want to say is that the crisis need to make us to stop any crisis, ideological, political, age crisis. The teenagers, we have age crisis, the children, the families, the couples. And what is the good thing about a crisis? What gives you that peace in your mind and in your health is to stop for a moment, because this cannot block you, this cannot block us. And these last years, this last week, our constituent process, as it was proposed by our previous guests, made us to stop and rethink on the future steps. And these steps need to be bridges steps, dialogue steps, with a common goal that is to take care of the person. We cannot qualify the other because he thinks different from me. I cannot annul the other because he or she has a different career or a different background or a different education. Our education, today's education, our school, your teachers, your professors, students, we want to call you to work in a space, to discussion space for and by peace. And this is what I want to invite you today in this UNESCO Chair Clôture, because all of our efforts, academic efforts, educational efforts, activist efforts, educational efforts, political, social efforts, art efforts, that we all go in the same way, in the same path. We have to study a lot about what we have diagnosis, lot of diagnosis, including in our country. We know what has happened. We know why it happened. Next step to move on is how. We have to go now for the action, an action that will allow us to think and to make things. We all want here in Chile, especially, see the output of the deep moment we have lived. And also as the world, we want to get out of this recession, of this pandemic that make us isolated. We want leaders that can show us how to do, because what? We already know that. So my invitation is we all can mobilize on thinking on how. Let's act from and for the peace and for the discussion, for the dialogue, because this will allow us to build a better world for us and for our children. Thank you.
A continuación,
Now, the Dean of the School of Philosophy and Education, Professor José Miguel Garrido, together Marcela Harpa, Director of the Pedagogical School, they will give an award to Professor Paul Carr.
A continuación les invitamos.
Now, we want to invite you to an artistic presentation by the group Meliche. It was born in 2022 in a face-to-face, but their work and research work has started in 2021. Each member has an amazing background in culture and tradition. The members are Ima Mariaga Badiagras, singer and poetry by tradition, Carlos Hernández Cortés, researcher of La Cueca and La Rueda music, both a student in the Institute, Rodrigo Orbello Contreras, professor and musician, and Viviana Morales Sanchez, director of the group and professor of traditional culture from the University Music Institute. These are going to present a Chile folklore show and the national dance La Cueca. So we welcome them.
No país pueblo mapuche. Ahora, Pericona Chiloé.
Pericuna Chilao.
coplitas carnavaleñas.
De
norte grande las indolencias.
Quisiera yo antes de cantar presentar lo que tengo en mis manos. Este es un guitarrón chileno.
I would like to present what I have here in my hands. This is a Chilean guitar. It's typical and it's unique in the world. It has 5 strings. It has a specific symbology. And what I'm going to sing is the 10 verses, 10 lines verse.
celebración, lo que amamos de verdad. Sin embargo, cuando en los rosales renacen las flores, los viejos amores con sus madrigales, como el como entonces a mi corazón otra vuelta. Mas los años al pasar me hicieron comprender la triste realidad, que tan solo es ilusión, lo que amamos de verdad. Sin embargo, cuando en los rosales renacen las flores, los viejos amores con sus madrigales tornan como entonces a mi corazón. Bien, y para finalizar, por supuesto, nos vamos con las cuequitas. Invitamos a nuestros amigos bailarines.
Un aplauso a los bailarines, eso, para que bailen con ganas.
Bruno Pizarro, también del Instituto de Música, y Claudia Soto, una excelente bailarina. Y la última, vamos con la soberana, también dedicada a Margot Pereira.
Thank you so much. Thank you, really, thank you.
Muy bien, de esta forma.
Okay, so with this, we complete and close this international symposium. Thank you so much for your attendance.
Hemos